Honey, where did the jar of preserves go? It was on the counter this morning, and now it's just gone.
Oh, I gave one to Lily.
Wait, you gave it to your sister? When did this happen? And why didn't you tell me first?
We barely even eat the preserves. You know that. Remember when we were at my mom's for her birthday last year, and you brought a whole jar of your mom's homemade cranberry sauce? Lily tasted it and said it was delicious. She even asked if she could take some home, so I thought it was fine to share one with her.
You and Lily said it wasn't that good, though, didn't you?
When did I ever say that?
You and Lily were both going on about how my mom's preserves were too sweet, and the texture wasn't right. You both acted like they wouldn't last a week because they were already so soft. You two complained the entire time.
I don't remember that at all. That's not something I would have said.
There you go again, pretending like you don't remember. Seriously, why didn't you just ask me first? I don't want to give my mom's hard work to Lily. She never says anything nice, and it's not like she appreciates these things.
Hey, Lily's my sister, sure, but she's your sister-in-law too. You don't need to talk about her like that.
What's the point of being older if she doesn't even act her age? And did she even say thank you after taking the jar?
She thanked me when she picked it up. Why does she need to thank you separately for something I gave her?
Oh, so it's fine for me to make those awkward thank you calls to Carol when she sends over a box of oranges or homemade jams? Even when I don't touch half the stuff, you still make me call her. Why is that okay? But Lily doesn't need to say a word to me.
That's totally different. We always share those things when we visit my mom, and besides, Aunt Carol absolutely adores hearing from you. It means so much to her. Can't you just make the call without making me nag you about it?
Are we seriously doing this? Every year it's the same. You and Lily are the first ones to swoop in and claim anything good. But when it comes to the hard work, neither of you even lift a finger. I'm always the one stuck with prepping and canning for everyone's benefit. I have helped out with your family and mine, breaking my back, and nobody ever acknowledges it.
Do you have to bring it up every time? Is it really that hard for you?
Have you ever tried canning anything yourself? Just once?
No, but I mean, how hard could it be? You get the jars ready, prep the fruit, throw in some sugar and spices, and seal it up. Seems straightforward to me. It's not like it's brain surgery. You always act like you're carrying the weight of the world on your shoulders.
You think it's simple? Try doing it yourself just once before you judge. You're all talk with no actual experience.
Oh, please. Just because I haven't done it before doesn't mean I wouldn't be better than you if I tried.
All right, then. Next year, I expect to see you canning all those preserves yourself. Show me your incredible skills.
Do you really need to see it to believe it?
Yep. I'm going to sit back and watch you do all the work.
Fine. Challenge accepted. I'm going to knock your socks off with my canning abilities.
All right. We'll see who gets humbled in the end. No backing out later. If you don't come through, I'll stop calling you my husband and start calling you a fool instead.
Fine by me. Call me a fool, an idiot, whatever you want. I don't care.
In the US, there are certain days that feel like they exist just to torture wives. There's Thanksgiving, of course, with all the cooking and prep. Then there's Christmas, which is a whole other level of madness. And then, for some of us, there's canning season. Yes, canning. That one tradition I never thought would drive me insane, but here I am. Growing up, it seemed so quaint. Those cozy autumn afternoons spent preserving jams and sauces for the winter. Then I got married. Now every single year, Janet expects me to show up, roll up my sleeves, and get to work canning with her. Like it's some kind of rite of passage. I'd love to catch a break for once. But of course, this year was no different. But this time, I had a plan. I wasn't about to be roped into doing all the work alone. Oh no, not this time. Both Ethan and Janet were going to feel my sweet, sweet revenge. Hey, honey. You remember what's happening next Saturday, right? We're supposed to go over to my parents' house to help with the annual canning. You haven't forgotten, have you?
Of course I remember. You've been talking about it for the past month. How could I forget? But to be honest, I'm not sure what's happening with my mom this year. She hasn't mentioned anything. Did she reach out to you?
Nope, nothing. It's odd. Do you think she's planning to skip it? Maybe she's just going to buy the preserves from the store? Don't tell me you think the deal we made last year is off, right?
You know my mom better than that. She would never just buy preserves. She's not that type. And don't worry, I know we made a deal last year that only I'm going to help this time.
That's true. I can't see your mom buying anything pre-made. But it's weird that she hasn't said a word. Anyway, just remember our deal. I'm skipping your mom's place this year, and you're coming with me to my parents to help with the canning.
I haven't forgotten. That's why I'm not arguing about it. I know how hard you worked last year, so I'm following through on my part of the deal this time.
And don't worry, my parents won't make you do a ton of work just because you're their son-in-law. Maybe they've already done most of the hard stuff, prepping everything. All you'll need to do is help seal the jars, and then we'll relax, eat some barbecue, and call it a day.
Sounds good. I love Barbara's cooking, and I'm ready to help out wherever they need me. Hey, honey. I need to talk to you about something for next Saturday.
Next Saturday? You mean the day we're supposed to go to my parents' place for canning?
Yeah, that day. My mom just told me she's doing her own canning that day, too.
Wait, what? All of a sudden?
It's not really sudden. She said she was always planning to do it then, but just forgot to mention it until now.
Does she know my parents are doing their canning on the same day?
Yeah. I told her that your parents were planning to do theirs next Saturday and asked her when she was planning to do it. That's when she said she's doing hers the same day.
But why is she just now telling you? Doesn't that seem a little suspicious?
She said it slipped her mind. You know how she can be forgetful sometimes.
Are you sure your mom isn't doing this on purpose?
No way. My mom's not the type to be a scheming, evil mother-in-law. You know that.
If it's not on purpose, then why would she wait until a week before to spring this on us?
She thought we'd already know. She said, "Isn't that the time everyone does canning anyway? Like it's just expected."
That doesn't even make sense. Do you remember how the last few years have gone? I've been the one running around doing all the hard work during canning season. It's been nothing but a hassle.
I know. That's why I apologized last year and promised I'd come with you to your mom's place this year.
I still haven't forgotten last year. You only showed up after the canning was done, just in time to eat because of work. And Lily? She showed up pregnant, didn't lift a finger, grabbed a jar of preserves, and was out the door.
Okay, seriously? Are we still talking about something that happened a year ago?
Yes, we are. And is Lily planning to do the same thing this year? Now that she's had the baby, maybe she could actually help out this time. You should talk to her about it.
Mom already invited her this time, but she also said she really wants you to come too. She was kind of upset, actually. She doesn't get why you would skip out on canning at her place. It's a big deal to her.
Well, in that case, why don't you ask your mom if she can change the date? You know, so we can go to both.
I already asked. I tried, I really did. But she absolutely refused. She said it has to be next Saturday. No exceptions.
And what about 2 years ago? Lily didn't show up because she was sick. And you? You were off with your dad drinking, passed out on the couch while your mom and I did all the work.
I know. That's why I'm hoping you'll understand this time.
Why am I the one who always has to be understanding? I work just as much as you do. I've contributed equally to the house, financially and otherwise. So why am I always the one expected to do all the dirty work? I'm not going this time. If they're short on hands, they can buy canned goods from the store. Or better yet, why don't you finish up with the canning at my parents' house and then rush over to help at your mom's?
Please, just this one last time. My mom said she's waiting for you, the daughter-in-law, to show up. I tried to reason with her, but there's no changing her mind.
You know, ever since we got married, I can't even look at preserves anymore without feeling sick.
If you come to our family's canning day, I'll do whatever you want. Seriously, I'll write it down, sign it, whatever you need. I'm desperate here.
All right, if you're that serious, then fine. But here's the deal. You sign that promise, and you do exactly what I say.
Okay, fine. What's your plan?
You're going to go to my parents' house like we planned on Saturday, and I'll go to your mom's place. She's waiting on me, right? Well, I'll be there. I'll tell her you were too busy with work to make it, and I'll handle the canning with her. You stay with my parents and help them.
Wait, really? You do that for me? That's actually perfect. My mom won't be upset, and your parents won't care as long as you're okay with it. Thanks, really. I'll be the best son-in-law at your parents' canning day.
So, Janet, I heard you're planning to do the canning next Saturday?
That's right. As my daughter-in-law, shouldn't you have been on top of this? I was expecting you to already know and be preparing.
I'm sorry about that. Speaking of preparations, it's only a week away. Have you gathered all the ingredients yet?
I was just about to start. There's so much to get ready, and honestly, I'm a bit worried about how I'll manage it all.
Well, I was thinking I could take care of the ingredients this year. After all, as your daughter-in-law, that's the least I can do. Don't you think?
Good idea. I'm getting too old for all of this. Just make sure you get everything. Only the best, all right? I want the freshest apples, the best sugar, and don't even think about skimping on the spices. It all needs to be top quality.
Of course, Janet. I'll take care of everything. By the way, Ethan's swamped with work, so I don't think he'll be able to make it next Saturday. Should I tell him to cancel?
Why would you bother him when he's working so hard? Just make sure you show up. That's all that matters.
Got it, Janet. I'll handle all the orders, so you don't need to worry about a thing. Of course, Janet didn't disappoint. She never misses a chance to make things more difficult for me. Can you believe she purposely chose the same day as my parents to schedule her canning day? It's like she's always got the sixth sense for making things inconvenient. But this time, I'm not just going to take it lying down. Oh no. I've got a plan of my own. These days, you don't have to go through the trouble of preparing everything from scratch. You can get pre-sliced fruit, ready-made syrups, and even pre-seasoned jars. So I went online, found a place with amazing reviews, and ordered all the convenient pre-made stuff. Sure, she's going to lose her mind when she finds out I didn't do it the old-fashioned way. But I'll deal with that when the time comes. And just in case, I called for backup. I sent out an SOS to my parents. They'll help me pull this off. I'm not going down without a fight this year. Mom, are you getting ready for the canning session on Saturday? Have you started prepping the ingredients yet?
Oh, you know it. I was just about to start. I figured it'd be easier if I did some of the chopping and prepping ahead of time so we don't get too overwhelmed on the day. Why? What's up?
Mom, whatever you do, don't prep anything.
What? What do you mean, don't prep? Why wouldn't I start getting things ready?
Because I won't be able to make it on Saturday. I'm sending Ethan in my place.
Wait, what? You're not coming, but Ethan is. Where are you going?
I have to go to Janet's place for their canning session. Turns out they scheduled it for the same day as ours. So, we agreed that we'd each go to each other's family's house this year. But I've got a little plan to make sure he gets his fair share of work. Don't prep anything. Make sure Ethan handles all of it. Janet did this on purpose, scheduling it the same day as ours.
Oh, come on, Grace. Do you really think Janet would do that intentionally?
I'm telling you, she did. And you know how much I've struggled every canning season, don't you? Mom, help me out here. I didn't want to say anything and make you worry, but the past couple of years at Ethan's family's canning sessions, they've been brutal. I've done all the heavy lifting, and I'm done with it. I can't take it anymore. I won't take it anymore.
Well, all right. I hear you, sweetheart. I didn't realize you'd been having such a hard time. Sounds like Ethan needs a little lesson. Your dad and I will make sure to put him to work.
Thanks, Mom. And please, make sure Dad knows too. He'll get a kick out of this.
Oh, you know your dad. He's always had a soft spot for you. The second he hears about this, Ethan's going to be put through the ringer. But wait. So, you're still going to help at Janet's place this year?
Yeah, but I've got a little secret. I ordered everything pre-prepped this year. Pre-cut fruits, ready-made syrups, the whole 9 yards. It's all coming straight to their door.
Does Janet know about this?
Of course not. She's going to flip out when she finds out. But there's no way I'm going to let her make me do all the dirty work again. Not this time. I'll give you a call later, but whatever you do, don't start prepping anything. Okay? Hi, Janet. I'm here.
Oh my goodness! Grace! What on earth is all of this?
It's everything I ordered for the canning. I wanted to make things a bit easier this year.
What? Are you out of your mind? You know this isn't how we do things. Why did you order pre-cut fruit and pre-made syrups? All of this is already done!
Has Lily shown up yet?
What? Why are you bringing up Lily right now? What does she have to do with this? I'm asking you about these store-bought ingredients.
Well, let's be honest, Janet. It's just going to be you and me doing all the work again this year, right? So I figured I'd make things easier for both of us and order everything pre-prepped. That way, we can enjoy the day without breaking our backs.
How can you trust this stuff? You don't even know where it came from or who made it. This isn't how our family's done canning for generations.
Oh, come on, Janet. These places are more hygienic than you think. I did my research, and I made sure to order from a reputable place with great reviews.
Is this why you insisted on handling the ingredients this year? So you could take the easy way out?
Easy way out? Janet, come on. Wouldn't you rather do this the quick and simple way? It'll save us both time and effort. If Lily had shown up to help, maybe we'd do it the traditional way. But since it's just us again, why not make it easier?
How did we manage the past 2 years, Grace? We did it just fine, even though it was just the two of us.
Honestly, Janet, those last 2 years were so exhausting. I got so sick from overworking myself that I had to take extra vacation days from work to recover. What's wrong with making things easier? Here, let me taste the syrup. See? It's delicious. Actually, I think it might taste even better than when we make it at home. Totally worth the price.
I can't believe what I'm hearing. I am speechless. Just absolutely speechless. You've planned this all along, haven't you? You ordered everything ready-made so you wouldn't have to do any work at all this year, didn't you?
Well, what can we do now? We can't exactly return everything, so let's just go ahead with this. All we have to do is mix everything together, and it'll be done in no time. You'll see, Janet. It'll be a lot easier on both of us this year.
I am absolutely speechless. You've really outdone yourself this time. I mean, what kind of daughter-in-law goes out of her way to throw her mother-in-law for a loop like this? You planned this, didn't you? Just to make my life more difficult.
Would you really prefer for both of us to spend the whole day exhausted doing everything the hard way?
How can we eat something when we don't even know how it was made? It's not the same as doing it ourselves.
Well, Lily doesn't seem to mind when she shows up every year after we've done all the work, just to take home jars of what we made. She doesn't even ask how it was done.
It's not the same. There's a big difference between something made by family and something made by strangers.
Is there, though? I mean, what's the big deal? Anyway, let's get started and finish up. That way, we can relax and enjoy some of that roast pork I brought for lunch. We have to be done before Lily gets here, and with everything prepped, we'll finish in record time.
I just don't know how we're going to eat this. It's nothing like what we make ourselves.
Wow, Janet, can you believe it? By ordering everything pre-prepped. Pre-cut fruit, ready-made syrups. It only took us 3 hours to finish.
Well, I went along with it this time because there was no other choice. But let me tell you, don't even think about pulling this stunt again next year. You better show up and do things the way I tell you. Food isn't just about the ingredients. It's about the love and care you put into it. How could you even consider buying everything pre-made?
Oh, don't worry, Janet. I ordered everything from one of the top places, run by a famous canning expert. And to be honest, this might be the best batch of preserves we've ever made. The flavors really came together. I'm actually tempted to do the same thing next year.
Is helping with the canning at my house really so hard for you? You're the daughter-in-law, Grace. Helping with this sort of thing is your responsibility. Back in my day, we'd process hundreds of jars in a season, and I did most of it by myself. And don't forget, now we have modern conveniences like blenders and mixers. What's so hard about it that you have to cut corners like this?
It's not about cutting corners, Janet. I just didn't want to see you and me struggling with all that work by ourselves again. I thought it would be easier on both of us.
You're good with words, I'll give you that. But let's be real here. How much of this batch are you planning on taking home? You didn't do much work, so you shouldn't need much, right?
Honestly, I don't think I'll need much this time. Ethan is bringing back a ton from my parents' house, so just a small batch will do for us this year.
Wait, hold on. Why is Ethan bringing back preserves from Barbara's place?
Oh, didn't I tell you? He's over at my parents' today helping with their canning, while I came here to help you. We figured it was only fair since both families scheduled canning for the same day.
What? So you sent Ethan to Barbara's place to help with canning, while you came here?
Yeah, we worked it out. And don't worry, I didn't send pre-made stuff to my parents. They're doing everything the old-fashioned way, hand-prepping everything just like you said. I know how much effort it takes, so I figured it was time Ethan experienced that for himself.
You mean to tell me that Ethan is over there at Barbara's place, working his tail off canning by hand?
Why not? I've been doing the same thing every year at your place, haven't I? Every time I've come here, you've reminded me of my duties as a daughter-in-law. So I figured it was only fair for Ethan to pitch in and do his part at my parents' this year.
You really think it's the same thing? There's a big difference between what a son-in-law and a daughter-in-law are expected to do. I can't believe this. I'm absolutely floored. How could Barbara and Edward even let this happen? Call Ethan right now and see how he's doing.
Oh, believe me, I tried calling him earlier. I wanted to check in, but he didn't pick up. I've already tried 3 times. He volunteered to help, so it's not like I forced him into it.
I've heard of husbands helping out in all kinds of ways, but canning at the in-laws? Never in my life have I heard of such a thing. And you let him go alone to do all that.
Well, I did ask you if we should both come here today, but you said it wasn't necessary. You told me that I'd be enough. So I figured it was only fair to send Ethan to my parents' place since they needed help too.
How was I supposed to know Ethan was off at your mom's place canning?
Well, I've been coming here alone for the last 3 years, haven't I? If I can do it on my own, so can he.
I don't even know what to say to you right now. Honestly, just get out of here. Go back to your place. I can't believe I'm saying this, but I can't stand to look at you right now. What kind of daughter-in-law sends her husband off to do canning at her parents' house?
Really? You want me to leave? Well, if that's what you want, I'll go. Honestly, I'm not complaining. I'll take 1 jar of preserves with me, and you and Lily can enjoy the roast without me. Ethan will bring back plenty of preserves from my parents' house, so I don't need much. Make sure you share plenty with Lily, since she always manages to show up at the last minute and take her fill without lifting a finger. Mom, can you talk right now? I've been trying to get in touch with Ethan, but he's not answering his phone. Is he still helping out with the canning?
Funny you should call. I was about to reach out to you myself. Grace, I don't know if Ethan is going to make it through today. Your dad's got him working so hard, I'm afraid he might not be able to get out of bed tomorrow.
Wait, really? Is it that bad? What's Dad making him do?
Oh, your dad's on a mission today. Ever since I told him about how hard you worked at your in-laws the last 2 years, he's been determined to make sure Ethan gets a taste of that. The moment Ethan walked in, your dad put him to work peeling apples, prepping jars for sterilization, and boiling everything. Poor Ethan didn't know what he was getting into.
Peeling apples and sterilizing jars? Oh my gosh, that's hilarious. Only Dad would come up with a way to make it harder than it needs to be. So, what's Ethan doing now?
Well, he's in the middle of mixing the fruit for the preserves with your dad. They've got this whole production line going. Ethan's chopping, slicing, and pouring, while your dad supervises. But in the middle of all this, your dad's been giving Ethan a full-on lecture, and it's a sight to see.
A lecture? What's he even talking about?
You know your dad. He's going on and on about how he took care of you growing up, never letting you lift a finger. And now he's reminding Ethan of every promise he made when he came to ask for your hand in marriage. Poor Ethan's face is so red, I thought he might start crying. He just keeps nodding and saying, "Yes, sir," like he's a kid again.
Oh, this is perfect. Ethan deserves a bit of what I've gone through. For the last couple of years, he's only shown up at his family's canning days when the hard work was done, right in time for dinner. And don't even get me started on Lily. She always makes some excuse not to help, but she's the first one to grab jars and run out the door. I'm glad Dad's finally showing Ethan what it's like to be the one doing all the work.
You're not alone there, Grace. I went through the same thing with your Aunt Kathy. Every year she'd find a reason not to show up, but somehow she always managed to grab a few jars for herself before leaving. Anyway, we're just about to start at the barbecue. If you're hungry, why don't you come over and eat with us?
Perfect timing! I'll come over just in time to eat. Just like Ethan used to do at his mom's place. Are you guys almost done?
Yeah, we're just about finished. Ethan's been a big help, even though he's clearly struggling. It's been a lot easier with him around, though. So come on over. I'll save you a spot at the table.
On my way, Mom. See you soon! And that's how I ended up rushing over to my parents' house just in time for the barbecue. I sat down to enjoy the meal while Ethan, poor guy, looked completely drained. Despite being clearly hungry, he barely touched his plate. I felt a little bad for him, knowing how hard he had worked all day. But honestly, after remembering all the times I had been the one doing the hard labor while he got to relax, I couldn't help but feel a bit satisfied. When I asked my parents how he did, they admitted he was slow and not very skilled, but at least he wasn't lazy. He followed Dad's directions without complaining, which was more than I expected. Sure, I felt a little sympathy for him, especially since it was his first time really pulling his weight like that. But overall, I was pleased with how it turned out. After all, I'd shouldered the work for years, so it was only fair that he finally got a taste of it.
Babe, I've got to be honest with you. I'm completely wiped out. Today was way harder than I ever expected. Edward really didn't hold back.
Oh, really? What did my dad do?
Well, for starters, I spent hours peeling apples and prepping fruit. My hands were sticky from all the juices, and I thought it'd never end. Why didn't anyone tell me this was such hard work? And your mom even gave me gloves because my hands were getting all pruny.
Oh, that's nothing. I did all of that last year and the year before. Oh, wait, you wouldn't know that, would you? You only showed up after everything was done.
You think that's all? Edward made me help with sterilizing jars and setting up the canning station, too. I thought your family bought everything pre-prepped.
Well, traditionally, we do everything by hand. Food isn't just about the ingredients. It's about the love and care you put into it. It's part of the process. The effort makes the preserves taste better. Or so they say.
Who says that? Your mom?
No, not my mom. Your mom said that. She's the one who insisted we stick to the old-fashioned way. And guess what? I've been doing all that at your family's canning days for the past 2 years while you showed up just in time to eat and barely wash a dish. But don't worry, your mom never let you lift a finger.
Wait a minute. Are you getting back at me?
Getting back at you? I wouldn't call it that. I'd say this is just the natural balance of things. You helped my parents and I helped your mom. What's wrong with a little fair play?
Fair play? I'm too tired to even chew my food. I didn't even have the strength to enjoy your mom's barbecue today. And speaking of that, how did you and my mom finish so fast?
Oh, well, I ordered everything pre-prepped. We used pre-sliced fruit, ready-made syrups, and all we had to do was mix and jar it. That's why we were done in no time.
Wait, what? So I was the only one doing all the hard work?
Hard work? What are you talking about? I did the same thing 2 years in a row, and I didn't complain. Besides, Lily didn't show up again this year, and your mom's not as young as she used to be. So why make things harder than they need to be? Oh, and by the way, try some of the preserves I made. They're delicious. Better than the ones your mom usually makes.
No thanks. I don't even want to look at preserves for a long time.
Really? That's a surprise. Weren't you the one who always said you couldn't eat a meal without preserves on the side?
After today? No way. You can have all of them. I'm just going to bed. I'm exhausted.
Well, thanks to all your hard work today, we'll have enough preserves from both families to last us for months. You won't have to worry about canning for a while.
Babe, I'm sorry.
Sorry? For what?
For not understanding how tough this all was before. I kept asking you to help my mom, but I never really got how much work it was. Now that I've done it myself, I realize it's no joke.
You're just figuring that out now? Better late than never, I guess.
And another thing. Your brother ditched us. He said he had plans with friends and left early. At first, I was really mad, but then I thought about Lily and realized this must be how you felt every year.
Exactly. I used to get so angry, but I didn't even expect her to show up this year, so I wasn't as upset. But I appreciate you admitting it. That actually helps a lot.
From now on, can't we just buy our preserves? This whole thing is way too much work. I'm going to bed. I'm dead tired.
And that's how Ethan ended up spending an entire day suffering under my dad's watchful eye. Now he's saying we should just buy our preserves instead of making them. And he even suggested we stop helping out at either of our parents' houses during canning season. I guess people really do have to experience things firsthand to understand. Since that day, whenever Janet even hints at calling me over to help, Ethan is the first to stop her, going as far as telling her not to bother me anymore. It looks like he finally gets it. Maybe my dad was a little scary after all. A few weeks later, my mom sent me a picture. There was Ethan, standing over a pile of sliced fruit, looking absolutely exhausted but proud. Every time Janet starts getting on my nerves, I just pull up that photo and smile, knowing how much she went through. For now, I'm free from canning duty, and I couldn't be happier. Hey, didn't you help out at Grace's parents' place for canning? Can I have a jar of that preserve?
What, do you think I'm running a free preserve service?
Oh, come on! It's just a jar of preserves. Why are you being so stingy?
Just a jar? You're talking about preserves that my mother-in-law made. Do you realize the work that went into that?
Geez, relax. I'm just asking for some preserves.
No way. You're not getting any. If you want preserves, go buy some.
Fine. How much?
$1,000.
What? Are you out of your mind? Who charges $1,000 for a jar of preserves? I'll just go buy some at the store.
Good idea. These preserves were made with my sweat and tears. You think you're going to get them for free? Nope. From now on, you can either make your own or buy them, just like everyone else.
Wow. I can't believe you're being so petty over a jar of preserves.
Have you ever made preserves yourself? Have you?
I haven't, but if I did, I'd make them way better than Grace's family does.
Yeah, right. You're all talk.
What? You think I can't?
Exactly. I don't think you could.
Well, if I have to prove it, I will.
Good. Next year, show me. I want to see you in action.
Do I really have to?
Yep. I need to see it with my own eyes. Especially since you're always bragging about what you can do.
You don't think I can do it? Fine, I'll show you. And I'll make sure to put you to shame.
Sure. We'll see whose pride gets hurt next year. And if you don't impress me, I'll stop calling you my little sister and start calling you Granny.
Whatever. Call me Granny, Grandpa, I don't care.
All right, I'll see you at next year's canning season.
That's it for today's story. If you enjoyed it, don't forget to subscribe and hit that like button. And why not leave us a comment in the comment section down below. See you in the next video.